2,000 years ago, Pontius Pilate asked Christ the question that still rings in our ears. Quid es Veritas? What is truth? Truth is absolute reality, or the world as God sees it. So what prevents us from seeing the truth, or the world as God sees it? In one word, sin. And what C.S. Lewis calls the great sin is pride. Pride says, I'm omniscient. The problem with the world is everyone else, and it uses a powerful tool that God has given us. This tool in of itself is neither good or evil, but what it produces shapes the course of our lives. The tool is reason. Often we start with the answer we want and use our reason to build a case for what we've already decided to be true. It's what we call motivated reasoning. That is what the proud man does. But there is another way. The humble way is to admit that you are a fallible creature with all sorts of prejudices and limits to your understanding. It admits that there is something to be gained by listening to someone else's point of view. Jeremiah 17:9 says this, "The heart, which is the source of all our desires, is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it?" Do you understand your own heart? I admit that I don't. It's why we go to counseling, to have someone else help us sort through some of the things that we do and say. Who can understand the heart of man? I submit to you that there is someone who understands your heart probably better than you do yourself. And I say, do not seek his counsel. It's a great evil, our greatest adversary, whose eyes are always fixed upon us. The Bible says in Genesis that he was more crafty than the other creatures he had made. If he is going to tell you a lie, it won't be obvious to you. Satan will make it something you want, something desirable, satisfying, and self-empowering. It will even have elements of truth in it. But beware of being told what you want to hear. He will use goodness itself against you. That's how tricky he is. What did he tell Eve in the Garden of Eden? God knows when you eat the fruit, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. These are all good things. Becoming like God is a good thing. Knowing good and evil is a good thing. But it's how you go about doing it that Satan will trip you up. The woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food. Food. Food is good. And pleasing to the eyes. Beauty is good. And desirable for gaining wisdom. You tell me, is gaining wisdom good? Yes, of course it is. But if gone about in the wrong way, they become a trap to us. The world says that the ends justify the means. We want to get rid of racism. We want to end discrimination. We want to help the poor and the oppressed. Good. All good things. But you don't get to burn cities and loot stores in the name of ending racism. Martin Luther King Jr. said this during his I Have a Dream speech. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate in physical violence. Dr. King realized that the desire for justice was good. But justice gotten in the wrong way is a perversion of justice. There is a method in which justice must be attained. I fear that Satan has set a trap for us here. He's using the goodness of justice to tear us apart. In our country right now, people are determined to be on the right side of history. I prefer to examine my own heart and then carefully speak the truth. The people's hearts are crying out for justice, but can our hearts also deceive us? Can our own hearts blind us to the truth? And so Pilate finds himself standing with Jesus before him. He knows Jesus has been unjustly accused and undeserving of death when Christ says to him, "The reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." And Pilate says, "Quid est Veritas?" What is truth? Here we have two clashing views of truth. Christ who says, "The reason I was born was to testify to the truth. No matter what it costs me, I will tell the truth. I will embody the truth." How is that possible? When your beliefs and your behaviors come together, you embody God's truth. Then we have Pilate, a Roman governor, a man of prominence and power, afraid of the crowds and unwilling to embody the truth, so he just dismisses it. He takes the easy way out. He rejects the truth and reality itself. What he's living out is, the truth can be whatever I want it to be, whatever I need it to be to protect myself. And it's a coward's way of living. Pilate sacrificed the truth to preserve himself, and in so doing embodied a lie. Now, Jesus sacrificed himself for the preservation of the truth, and in so doing, carried out the will of the Father. Which one are you?